we're going to get all the business stuff out the way. Oh, and we're live.
We are.
Hi, guys. Let's just take a moment, cousin, to share. How's my thing not working? We are live. Hi, guys. How fun is that? Let's just take a moment, cousin, to turn it down. Hi, everybody. So this show today is so special to me. It is. Because when I have my favorite unicorn in the whole world, I stalk her life. Oh, by the way, I am being extra. It is 2021. It's the top of the year. So I'm being super extra because I have on my radical shades.
Yay.
Just so y'all know. My radical shades because I am the ambassador. But I'm just being my usual irritating self to my cousin and my sister. Because that's just what I want to do.
Shaking my head, yes.
Yes. Because the first thing she said when she got on, she said, "Oh, really? You're so extra." Well, I mean, I pre-warned both of them that this is what I was going to do. Just because. But I could not have started off this year without her. I'm trying to, I was like, most definitely, you have to be the very, very, very first person on Hey Girl Hey for this year, 2021, because we have, I know just for me personally, she has done so much and she has been such a blessing to my life, and I want her to be a blessing to everyone else's. And what I always say with the show is that I started it because I've came across so many different people, and I've been blessed to have so many different friends. Hey, Mom. Mom is in here. She said she was going to pop in and say hi. I've been blessed to come across paths with so many different people, and she's here to give y'all so much good information about her company, everything that she's doing. And then we actually going to dig a little bit into my story and how she honestly how she's helped me. So, welcome, Coach L. We have Miss Ladina.
Hey, girl, hey.
So, first off, she is a spiritual coach. Is that how you do? You say spiritual coach?
It's a spiritual life coach.
A spiritual life coach, and it's not just regular life. She's getting your L.Y.F.E. life coach.
That is getting you to your God-given favor.
I'm sorry, say that again, cuz.
Getting you to live in your God-given favor.
And that is such a true statement, especially once I break down what she made me do. But also, she has one of the dopest radio shows that come on every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, Radical Radio, which I'm so proud of you. You guys you've been on for a year. You've been through so much growth and some changes, but you still rocking it out. And congratulations for y'all studio. I was the very first person to come into the studio. Yes.
Yes.
I feel like a spoiled brat, but
she is, y'all. Don't let her.
I am. I truly am. But she's my favorite unicorn. Her birthday is 4 days before mine, so we're just special like that. Leo's all day, every day.
Yes.
So for the ones that don't know who you are and don't know your story, just Coach L, tell them who you are.
Well, I am. Look at my auntie want her dog, y'all. Anyway,
that's exactly what she said. Yes, she said she want her dog. Where my dog?
I am Coach L of Radical Life Coaching. I am a spiritual life coach. I am also the host of Radical Radio, as well as the visionary and founder of Radical Eyewear and Accessories. Radical Life is a brand. So under the brand Radical Life houses Radical Life Coaching, Radical Radio, and Radical Eyewear and Accessories. many that know me know that I do declare that everything that I do is a ministry. So Radical Life is a ministry. It's a ministry because I move the way that God calls me to move. I hadn't always lived my life moving the way God called me to move. I didn't. I thought that I was doing things on my own. I was making my own decisions, and I started this brand for Radical Life, basically with the coaching in mind. I decided to become a certified life coach because I had a lot of healing to do. I grew up with a lot of anger inside of me, and I noticed that the anger that I was housing and carrying, it allowed me to live life and just continue to live in a spiral of negativity and a spiral of toxic. And I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired of, feeling like, why does my life have to be like this? That I decided to surrender to God and give my life to God. And I grew up in church. So, I've always been in church. I've always been in and out of church. I will say that I was a certified backslider. Okay. So I was in and out of church. I would go to church, I would, get in tune, and then I would fall by the wayside. But I just remembered, once I did move to Georgia, I really wanted to, get closer to God. And I just started to build a better relationship with Him. And I remember in church one day, I just declared out of my mouth that, Lord, I am going to surrender my life to you, and I'm never ever going to leave you again. And I mean that. So that's what Radical Life is, and that's who Coach L is now.
Well, amen. Because I remember Coach L then, and I know Coach L now.
There we go. Totally different people.
Oh, we have our favorite sweet lady, Miss Cheryl Dunlap. Hey, Mom.
Hey,
She said,
Cheryl.
"Hey, Dina.
Hey.
Thank you for joining." But I mean, this is the interview, but it's more so I wanted to just brag about you. You know what I'm saying? Because
It's gonna make me cry.
I can't speak for everybody else. I can only speak for myself. You know what I'm saying? And the things that you have done for me and helped me see and helped me realize and helped me grow to this point has been nothing but God and nothing but amazing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, if and it don't even matter the situation. It doesn't matter what you're going through or what your story is. Whether if you like have a business and you just needing somewhere to come and be transparent, because I know that you are really, really big on learning people's story. And the transparency is amazing. Just how open and raw that you are. And I know my very first experience of of the transition was when you had your event. What it was 17. I think it was 2017.
Yep.
Where it was me, Kendra, and
Marshilla Hall.
yes, Miss Hall.
Yep.
And you had asked me to come down there and talk, and I'm like, "Cuz I cuss."
Yeah.
What exactly is it that you want me to say? Like, I don't know what I don't know about this. What is it you trying to have me to do? But it was such an amazing experience, and how each, like, I believe I started off, and then it was Kendra, and then we went into Miss Hall, and how our stories just came together. That was nothing but God by itself.
Absolutely.
That. And it was such a great experience, and you had such a wonderful, wonderful turnout, and we was all down in Georgia, and we just had a marvelous time. So just from going there to where you are here, your growth has been amazing. Then Radical Radio is such a dope show, and then these accessories and all of this wonderfulness.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That I'm always talking you about, because I literally have I have all the original Radical eyewear glasses we was just talking about.
Absolutely. She has glasses. She have glasses that I don't even have. She is the ambassador But you know, you're an awesome ambassador, so it's supposed to be like that. The ambassador is supposed to have everything, and you got pretty much everything.
Right. So what I was gonna do during the show was like switch out my different glasses, but then they talked about me so bad, so I'm just gonna keep on my white ones because it matches my shirt.
There we go.
So I mean, for me, the month of January is all about inhaling the good shit and then exhaling the bullshit, and that means a lot for me because just to go back, if you heard my interview or you know any parts of my story, I had major eye surgery in my left eye back in 2019. And then after having those back-to-back surgeries and then end up growing a cataract, I became pretty much blind in my left eye. So during this process, I was very upset because I had plans. Okay. Like, if you know me in Lake County or whatever, like hair makeup is my life. That's all I've done. That's all I've been doing since I was 13 years old. Is either in somebody hair, doing somebody hair, in somebody face, doing somebody makeup. That's just, or just me just doing it to myself. So to have to go through that, I remember calling you one day, and this was like right before I had surgery. And I was like, "Cuz, I can't do my eyeliner."
Yes, she was
I
so
was
serious.
so devastated
It was
because,
crazy.
listen, devastated
Yeah.
because of the fact that I couldn't do my eyeliner because I love me a cat eye. I love me a wingtip. That is in my eyebrows. Like, if I can do that and just go outside, I'll be perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the words that she told me, and I had to just get off the phone with her because I was just mad because I felt like she wasn't helping me at the time, which I do appreciate most definitely now. She said, "Well, the spirit is telling me that you just need to sit down." I'm like, sit down? Who the hell does that? How do you even do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how? But after surgery, I ended up not sitting down. I ended up laying down face first for like a month because I had no other choice. But you end up realizing, and just through the process of, just through the process that I went through with you with my life coaching, was that I had a lot that I needed to unpack. And I think a lot of people in our generation, or just in general, we just hold a lot in because we're never really taught to, okay, this is happening. It's okay for you to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
So let's process that feeling and then heal and then move forward.
Right.
For me, I would just process it, move, and keep moving. And
Yes.
that's it.
Mm-hmm. And what she's not telling y'all though, like, listen, I sat back for a long time and I just watched my cousin. She don't even know this. Like,
I do.
watched her. I watched her in relationships. I watched her in her. I watched her like move, and when I tell y'all move, this chick will move. Like, oh, I'm done. Let's move on. Let's carry on, and she just go right. So I would sit back and I would watch her, and I admired you. I admired you from afar because I said, hey, if it don't work, she gonna stop and she gonna keep it moving. But I also knew in the back of my mind, I'm like, she's gonna have a point where she's gonna have to deal, because I knew as you were moving along, just continuing to move, that you weren't dealing.
Right.
And I'm just so thankful that, God allowed me to be the person to walk alongside you and to help you to, unpack, release, and really, deal. And it was some days that she didn't like me, just like that phone call. Like, I will honestly say it's not
No,
easy to be obedient to God. Like, sometimes
it's
God will
not.
tell me to do things or say things, and I'm like, really? Like, I gotta say that? But in all actuality, like, it became something that I practiced, like being obedient and listening to God and doing exactly what He tells me to do, because I knew that it was a blessing in
Oh,
me
most
being
definitely.
obedient.
I
So
mean,
when I told her, at that point when she called me, and she was mad. Like, she was like crying, and it was just really like, it was a big deal. And I was just like, you gotta sit down. And they can tell you, like, I say a lot of times, like, I'm just like, "Oh, goodness, I gotta tell you this," and just kind of get them to brace themselves. But I have to let them know, and I have to be obedient to what God says. And I'm just thankful that you allowed me to rock with you while you had to, sit down.
Yeah. Hey, oh, we got D Shannon. Hey, cuz she in the building. Marcus
Okay.
Garth and Brittany. Thank you all for joining. That process is it's a process, and if you're not looking to be, I don't want to say broken.
Okay.
If you're not looking to unpack, I call it unpacking.
Yep.
Because that was just my thing. Just if you're not looking to unpack all the bullshit that you have stacked inside of you,
Mm-hmm.
and be ready to just see yourself pretty much raw.
Yeah.
Uncut and raw. I don't know, then you just gonna stay in that space. You're gonna stay in your own little world, you're gonna stay in that own little bubble, and you're never gonna be able to grow.
Right.
You're really not. Because it's just like I had to deal for myself, because it was 2 points. Two major breaking points for me throughout that process. No, that's a lie. It was 3. I had to go back.
Okay.
I had to remember, because because it was like because I just would call you first, but then I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I need to go on and just sign up and just pay for these to pay for this real, because I need some more help. Like,
yeah.
And she's worth every penny. So it was 3 points. It was the first step was the part where I was broke. I just fell apart because I couldn't do my eyeliner. The second part was, I think it was a little after surgery. And I was just telling you, because I was just like, because when you in cosmetology and you standing for so many years and all of that or whatever, but you still a creative being, you still want to create. So I was at the point in my life, I was burnt out from doing hair. I still did makeup, but I wanted to do something else. So I started doing nails. And listen, I would have came down here and took over. Okay. That's just what it was. And so I started doing nails, and I was doing everybody's nails. Throughout my family, just perfecting my craft, because that's just what you're supposed to do. And I loved it. But then with having surgery, it was just like, okay, I couldn't do what my plan was. So I was pissed. I was more angry more than anything, because it was just like, I felt like my life was being snatched away. You know what I'm saying? So, and you feel that way. Oh, hey, Sherelle. Sherelle is in here.
Hey,
She said,
Terrell.
hey, cousins. So, like, I remember calling Dina. I was on my way back from one of my eye doctor's appointment, and I was like, I had this whole vision. And how am I supposed to have vision without vision?
That was a good one, too.
Yeah. Hey, Autumn. Autumn is in here. She said, hey, y'all.
Yeah.
So, like, I was so pissed. And I was like, I was on the phone screaming. I was crying. How am I supposed to have these visions when I ain't got no goddamn vision? Like, this, God play too much. Like, this is exactly what I told her.
Yeah.
And she said, cuz. And she's so calm with it. And it just pisses you off. And she's just like, cuz, you just have to sit down. And you just have to see what he has for you. And just having to do that and just letting go is so hard, especially for me, because I've always been a doer and go. And my mind, I ain't even gonna put the Lord in there. My mind is made up to do to go through this to do what it is that I want to do, because I'm a stubborn ass, and I mean that's just what it is. And I just want to do what I want to do.
Right.
So that was the next process. And then my third time was when I actually got into coaching, and I learned that a lot of the things that's in me were taught by, important people that was in my life, but it wasn't me.
Right.
Now, learning that is just like, So you mean to tell me everything that I've learned isn't who I am? So you have to go back and find your own identity of who you are.
That part.
And that's a process within itself. Because
That part.
it's like, well, damn, who am I then?
Mhm. But it's crazy because this is the same process that I had to go through on my own, but I was by myself going through. Well, I'm not gonna say I was by myself. It was me and God. I ran from Illinois. I ran
Mm-hmm.
from here. I was in an abusive relationship. I didn't want to, run into, my abuser at the gas station. I just couldn't deal. So I was like, I'm out. And I moved to Georgia and I was by myself. It was me and, my children, and we were by ourselves. So I had a lot of time to think. I had a lot of time to really, kind of process like, why am I like this? Like, why am I going through so much? Why have I been through so much? So I had to endure, the healing process and backtracking and looking back at my life and looking back at the things that I was taught to really understand who I truly was. But I had to remove myself from not only my abuser, because I did run from him, but I also ran from my family. And
Mm-hmm.
just being transparent, like I ran from my family because it was too much for me. I was the one that was always being called on, like I am now, but I had to run from them and get alone and get by myself to understand who I was without everybody else that had shaped me and molded me being around me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard for you to be, yourself when you're around the very people that have molded you and shaped you into who you are, but that's not who you truly are. So just getting away and being alone and being able to, really unpack, as you say, some things and really, I had to ask myself some tough questions like, you didn't grow up angry. When did you become mad?
Mm-hmm.
When did you become angry? And I had to be real with myself and say, yeah, I became angry because my parents got divorced. I had to ask myself the questions like, why were you so mad? Because I wanted to tell them how I really felt about it, but I never, I couldn't understand how to articulate the words. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, it's okay when I walk with my clients, I want to walk alongside my clients because when I had to do it, it was just me and God. So I had to,
Right.
kind of shift through a lot of mud and dig myself out of a lot of, low places and dark places. But I was alone. So I don't want anybody to ever have to go through the process and experience it, just them and God. If that's the way God calls it to be, then that's fine. But I would love to make sure that I go along the process with my clients.
Yeah. Autumn asked the question. She said, "Have you ever ran from yourself?"
Oh yeah.
Um, Me, yeah, most definitely. Because the thing was, is just like I would go for me. I would go through a situation, and I'd be like, you know what, it ain't for me. All right, whatever. Bye. I'm moving on from it. But knowing it was a piece that hurt me like hell.
Yeah.
But I felt like me showing my emotions was a weakness.
Right.
So it's better for me to just suck the, well, as my mom had taught me, suck that shit up and keep it moving. So
Mhm.
it was, so I mean, I take that as me run a major thing of me running away from myself because I never would just deal with those emotions. Okay, you hurt me, cool. Guess what? I'm out.
Well, I mean, we all are professional runners from ourselves first. It For me, even just going backwards, when you go back and you really pay attention to, your life, I remember like running when I was a little girl and, like things didn't go my way. I didn't get my way, or, somebody made me mad. I would pick up and I would run away from it. I wouldn't deal with it. But as far as running from myself, absolutely, because you don't want to deal with the person standing in front of the mirror. A
At
lot of
all.
like, don't nobody really want to do that work. Like, that's some real work right there. Standing in the mirror and facing yourself and really being honest with yourself to say, I'm broken. I had to be honest with myself at one point in time in my life and say, hey, you have low self esteem. Like, you don't have any self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? I had to look myself in the mirror and say, you're insecure. So when we have to do the work, nobody wants to do the work. So it's easy to run away from it.
Most definitely. And I
Yeah.
know for me, one of the major things when it came to me in relationships, I can blame, like, it's, you have situations
Mhm.
to where it's certain people that are at fault in those situations. But for me, I had to, okay, those situations did happen. I know that those wasn't my fault, but the fact that I'm with this person, that was my fault,
Absolutely. Yep.
because I was the one that chose they ass. Because somebody can come and try to holler at you all day long, but until you open up that door to be like, you know what, okay, let me go ahead and give this person a chance.
Mhm.
And then that was the part that I had to literally stand in the mirror and be like, you can't blame nobody else for this shit.
Mhm. Yeah.
I can't blame nobody for, I couldn't put any blame towards anyone else but myself of actually just being in that actual relationship. So
Right.
the situations of relationships, now that part, here nor there, but
Mhm.
actually the choosing of the person to be in the actual relationship, I had to be like, that was on you. You're gonna have to take that one at the chin. And you're gonna have to learn from that and know, at the end of the day, I'm not settling for shit else than what I deserve.
Well, that's one thing that as women we have to come to grips with. And I mean, I believe at some point of growth, everybody comes to the realization that we make a choice. You know, out of everything that I've endured in my life, in the relationships myself that I'm in my marriage, I know that I'm making a choice. I make a choice in my marriage. I make a choice in my life. I make a choice with the friends that I have. I make a choice with who I decide to go into business with. I make choices, for everything in my life, and we have to hold ourselves accountable to the choices that we make. Now, I do believe that it's a practice. You have to learn how to choose for yourself.
Right.
But once you are at the point where you've grown and you've healed, then you are able to make better choices for yourself, and that's in life. But if you're still broken and you're still, not willing to face the facts about, your life and what you're going through, then, you'll still make those choices that are not the best for you. But the moment that you really take initiative to grow and really heal from the things that you've gone through, you will begin to make a lot more wise choices about your life.
Malaysia says, hey girl, hey niece. Autumn says that part. Thank you, Tasha Allen, for joining. Brittany says facts. Um, it's just a lot. The
Yeah.
whole getting your life
Yes.
is a lot, and it's an ongoing process. It's
Every day.
layers. You, like, I know for me, it was the unpacking. It was the learning myself, learning who I am as me by myself,
Mhm.
and then the shedding. And that could be shedding of businesses, shedding of people, shedding of different relationships. And I went through, so 2019 was my unpacking and me learning myself. 2020 was the shedding. Like the
Mhm.
shedding, I mean, my eyes was opened up to so many different people that I was just like, how did I end up, excuse my friend, I'm gonna cuss today. How did I end up fucking with y'all in the first place?
But
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 it
but the thing is with you, there was a lot of things that you before the shedding happened, when we were in coaching, it was thrown away. That session that we had where I had you throw the things away, um, I think that opened your eyes to a lot, and it
yes.
opened the door for the shedding to happen and you to understand why the shedding happened.
Oh, the throwaway. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was, I think that was one of the most funniest conversations we ever had.
Mhm.
Because it was like when you think about things, um I'll just go over one. When you think about things that you have been told from, for instance, like for me, growing up, I always heard from my grandmother, you need to pick your poison. And I'm like, when I was young, I was like, pick your poison. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, when you get into relationships, you got to pick your poison because you're not going to like everything. Everything is not going to go your way. And a person is going to treat you how they're going to treat you. But once I threw that process away, it's like, no, I'm not just picking my poison. I'm not just settling for any type of bullshit. And at the end of the day, it's like, I'm going to get what it is that I deserve.
It comes back
in a healthy, now, don't get me wrong, in a healthy manner. Because like people need to, and in our community, a lot of times we don't experience a lot of healthy relationships. You know what I mean? So it's just like in a healthy manner, you get what you deserve. So where you have a fulfilling relationship where both partners are in, y'all got to be on the same road, in the same book, on the same page.
It comes back to a choice. Like, right. You can make the choice. Do you want to have a relationship where you have to pick your poison? Or do you want to have a relationship where you don't have to even fathom or think about, well, let me pick my poison? You know what I'm saying? It's a choice. And once again, it's just with the growth and with healing, you begin to make choices for yourself that are non-negotiable. So, that's something where you threw that away and that became something that was non-negotiable. So it's non-negotiable that when I get in a relationship, I'm not going to have to pick my poison. I'm going to make sure that that's just something I don't have to do. And that's my choice. You know what I'm saying?
And you end up much happier that way.
Yeah.
Way more happier that way.
Absolutely.
I can't hear you. What you say?
I said absolutely.
Most definitely. But for anybody who's needing to get their life, I can only talk about what I've experienced myself and I've gotten my life in that manner. But it's an amazing experience. I most definitely recommend y'all reaching out to her, y'all talking to her. Everything is completely confidential, but she's gonna be 110% transparent with you. So if you can't take constructive criticism, if you can't take direct answers that's coming directly from the good Lord through her about you, if you're not ready for that, then I don't know what else to tell you. But I can honestly, it's worth the work. You'll be so much happier. You'll be so much less stressed. It's amazing. And then also, I'm actually I want to sponsor somebody for their first session. Now after that, that's up to you. But your very first session, if y'all go ahead, you can email me at Rita ritaham@gmail.com, and or y'all can hit me up on Facebook, or what did Autumn say? She said you have to be ready for the growth. Hey Kendra's here. She says blessings. But y'all can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whichever, because I do most definitely want to sponsor somebody for their very first session with Dina, because it's gonna be like, honestly, it's gonna be life changing. There is no way you gonna do that first session with her and not go back, because it's gonna leave you, especially with that homework she give you, it's gonna leave you like, okay, I need to fix this shit. Like I need to. It's gonna pull, once you linked in, it's gonna pull you to go back, most definitely. So make sure y'all most definitely contact me in reference to that, because I most definitely do want to sponsor somebody.
Thank you, cousin. I appreciate that.
It's a blessing to be a blessing. That's just what it's all about. Hey, Mia's in here too. My other niece.
It is a blessing. I thank you for just allowing me to work with you and trusting me all of my clients, I have been blessed to be able to be a big part of a lot of my clients' growth and them moving in directions to have their own business and be confident in being unapologetically bold and purposely authentic and not being afraid to be who they are called to be and not afraid to be the people that God has called them to be. This is something that God has done. This is not anything that Ladina does. It's not anything that Coach L does. This is all God's doing. And a lot of times it just takes for us to take some time and just ask the question, what does God say about you? Because oftentimes we're looking at ourselves and we're not really paying attention to what God has said about us. And, in the word, God says that we are blessed and highly favored, that, He will allow us to live life and live life more abundantly. So, that's how we're supposed to live according to the word of God. So if we take a moment and we really reflect and think about, the things that God says about us, it will allow us to move on purpose. It will allow us
Yeah,
to
most definitely.
move in a bold way. Like, for instance, like Rita said it when she came to our event, she was like, cuz I cuss. You know, I can't let a curse word stop me from doing what God has called me to do. I can't let the fact that, somebody cuss for me not to hear their story. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, for me, that's getting away from how I was raised and the religion that I grew up in. I don't judge people. That's not my job. It's God's job to judge. And we have to get away from judging people, judging a book
Most
by its
definitely.
cover. All of that is why radical is radical. You understand?
Most
Because
definitely.
I don't want anybody to feel judged or feel like they can't be honest or they can't speak what's on their heart. I'm called to the streets. I'm not called to the pulpit. I am called as an evangelist to the streets to touch people anywhere they are, and share my light wherever I am. So for those that are you know kind of concerned about coaching or feeling like it's not a safe place, I don't judge anybody. I've coached people who have been in the streets. I've coached people who have come from the church. I've coached people who ain't in neither. So
And I've been in both, by
right,
the way.
exactly. So it's not anything that I can't judge anybody because I've been a handful in my life, before I surrendered. So it's nothing that I would ever do as a coach that I didn't like done to me when I was out there in the world because I hated being judged. I hated, feeling like I had to be put in a box. So that's what I desire for my clients, to be able to be unapologetically bold and purposely authentic and be honest with who God has called them to be.
Most definitely. And the thing is that once you start investing in yourself, and I mean, when I say invest in yourself, I mean that to where you do the work, to where you can get through the unpacking and you can get through, because I mean, I think that's a great way of putting it, where to where you can get through the unpacking, you can throw the shit away that you need to throw away, and then you can honestly look at yourself in the raw with whatever's left, and be able to move forward in your life that way,
Absolutely.
because you can't keep moving with baggage. It slows you down. It slows down everything it is that God has for you. I mean, it honestly does. And I'm only speaking that from my own personal experience. You know what I'm saying? Because I spent so many years just going and going and going and going and going. And I mean, I have accomplished a lot, but having those accomplishments and being where I am now, I can actually take the time out to look at it and be thankful and grateful for it, and know to see the actual vision that I didn't have at that point in time, and
Yeah,
where it is that I'm supposed to go and what it is that I'm supposed to be doing.
that's awesome. And just let me, before we leave out, I just want to encourage those people that are, looking at themselves and thinking that, they're not able to do what it is that, they want to do, or they're not being called by God. At this point, God is calling those that are unlikely to look like, a pastor or look like something that, we've all seen. Like, he's looking for those that are just willing to be open and honest, and give their life to Him,
Right.
and surrender to Him. You don't have to be well put together to do what God is calling you to do. You don't have to be a pastor to do what God is calling you to do, to be used by God. He will use anybody. And I just want, people to understand, like, He will use anybody. We have to get away from the stigma of thinking that, God will only use you if you're a pastor, or God will only use you if, you saved and righteous and you do everything correctly. That's not what God, calls for right now. God is in a place where he always judges our hearts. So what you may think God doesn't know, He know everything about you. So He knows your heart and He judges your heart. So He is looking to use those people that people wouldn't, readily assume that He's going to use. He going to use you. He going to use anybody that He chooses to, in any way that He chooses to use them. So, if you have things that you are looking to do, step out on faith, give your life to
Most
God,
definitely.
surrender to Him and allow Him to use you. And I'm telling you, it is the best decision that I've ever made in my life. Um, and it's only up from there, for real.
Hey, Kat. Thank you, beautiful, for joining. Um, all I have to say is amen to that. I don't even have anything to say after that. We can pretty much close up this shop. Cuz just let them know exactly where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Facebook under Coach L, or you can find me on my personal page, Ladina Chisholm. I do have my website, which is www.radicallifelyfe.com. Instagram, radical underscore life, LYFE. You can also find us Radical Radio, The Radical Radio on Facebook, and Radical underscore radio on Instagram. Everything Radical, you'll find me. If you type in Radical, you'll find me somewhere around there.
Or you come to my page. I'm always tagging her and all types of good stuff.
But thank
But
you
yeah,
for
but
having
most
me. I
most
appreciate
definitely go to her website so that y'all can get those shades. She got some beautiful bracelets that I wish they came in pink, but I only got the black one. Just throwing that out there. Um,
it. Always got special requests. Always.
but oh no, but my favorite thing right now that she makes is the belly beads, which I know she don't call them belly beads, but
They're
those are
waste
my
food, guys.
waist beads, whatever. The waist beads, because mine are dope. She put my name on them. I got a unicorn. Like, they are super dope. So y'all contact her for those too. And I mean, it's like a package. You could be flying. You could be fly with your shades, with your waist beads. Oh, and the chain earrings, the breaking the chain earrings, which I'm putting my order in because them gold ones is popping. And if you want to wear some glasses with my name on them, I got some glasses on there too. Those, honestly, those are the only glasses I don't have.
Rita,
Yes.
you have two actually. I don't know how you got two named after you. I don't know how that happened, but yeah.
I didn't see, I only seen one. What was the I'm gonna have to go on the website,
You
check
have to
this
go on the
out.
website and look. But I named them Rita after you again, and I'm like, how she end up with two glasses? But yeah,
Cause you love me. That's just what it
that's
is.
all.
But y'all can, but if you do miss the show, it will be uploaded on YouTube by tomorrow. Y'all can catch me at Rita underscore the Ham on Instagram, Rita Norman on Facebook. Also make sure you send me that email if you would like to be sponsored for one of Coach L's life classes. Do it.
Thank you,
Do
thank
it.
you, thank you.
Make sure you do it. Because the thing is, for me, it's like once you do all of that, you're gonna open yourself to be free to do anything it is that you want to do. Because I honestly thought that I was never gonna do makeup again, but here I am, fabulous as ever, with
Absolutely, absolutely. Free to
my
do
makeup done
whatever.
by yours truly.
Yes. So all those times she was mad at me, they paid off.
Yeah, pretty much. I was pissed. Don't listen. That's a whole story for another day. How mad I was.
Absolutely.
Angry. angry.
Absolutely.
But I love you guys. Y'all have a great night. Happy New Year. I'll be back next week. We getting our lives all month. I'm just saying.
There
We
we go.
exhaling, we inhaling the good shit, exhaling the bullshit. All January long.
Thank you for having me.
I love you, cousin. All right, bye,
Bye.
y'all.